It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the AMP Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Boom.
Welcome to the cafe
Technical difficulty show.
This is really strange. But
Workarounds.
But hello.
Good afternoon to you too.
Are you sure?
Are you looking at it?
I am.
You know the great thing about you is people don't mind if you scroll, if you complain, if you do what you do, because they're used to seeing you do that. If I did it, it'd be like, don't get off your phone, you're not talking to us, you're not animated. But like Freddie can be like in a grumpy mood, he can do this for the next 2 hours, and we're all good.
No, the problem is that I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm doing this because I have to.
Correct.
Because we have to test to see what's going on.
I know we've been having some technical difficulties since last night, so bear with us in some of our shows. We're doing the best we can, but we are at the mercy of technology sometimes like everybody else. So happy, what is it today, Wednesday, hump day? It is definitely like a hump day.
Hump day.
I have to tell you though, I have these new patches on, and like this migraine that I've had for 2 days is actually subsiding. And all I can tell you, it's the super patch, right? You put one on also because you feel a little better?
Yeah, actually I do.
Psychosomatic or really better?
We don't know. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Psychosomatic really
I'll
better.
let you know.
All I know is it's better. So happy Wednesday. We got a great show lined up for you today. We've got, I believe it's our second segment of Faith Stories with our good friend Dawn DeMarco Book. And she's interviewing a beautiful guest about her story of faith and hope, and we're going to see what else rolls out that way. We've got Pamela Chanel David joining us from San Francisco talking about the mindset for business success and what that looks like. So we're on episode 3 of that. She had an amazing show this morning on The Reinvented Life. She interviewed actually her niece, who is a pediatrician, cute girl, and she wrote a book talking about children and acceptance and wearing a mask. So we're going to talk about that and what business looks like, because right now, you can keep working on business, but you're kind of at the mercy of everybody else, right? Yep. You can open your doors, and if no one comes in, your doors are open, but what are you going to do next? So I love the fact that, you know, a lot of our old friends are coming forward to work with us for this last quarter and doing their thing.
This is really strange.
That I'm doing an entire monologue by myself? Yes, it is. So, but I guess that would be why it's called a monologue and not a dialogue, and why we're thoroughly unscripted here at the studio.
Strange.
Is it working?
I've never seen before. It's like in another planet.
Why?
Why? I don't know why.
Is it there?
It's there.
But
it's strange. Look at the way the shares are. What is up with Facebook? Hello?
Well, they're probably doing an update, and they decided to start with us as a meta beta catchphrase is all I can tell you.
A meta beta.
Meta.
I'm not even going to continue to share it out because I don't know if I'm in jail, out of jail, or in between jail.
I do not know.
Jail has a new definition.
Did you have a nice Halloween?
No. I don't celebrate Halloween.
So I went home.
I can't have no candy.
Devil's workshop, baby.
I got to tell you,
Did
the
you have
kids
candy?
were so
No.
cute.
Did you have one piece of candy?
No.
Did you have a quarter piece of candy?
No.
Did you take a Tootsie Roll and just lick it and throw it
I
away?
like Tootsie Rolls, but no.
How many candies did you eat?
I didn't have any until I got here today.
You didn't have not one candy?
Not one candy for 3 days, because I thought maybe if I stopped eating chocolate, my migraine would go away, and that didn't seem to make a difference. I'm like, heck, I'm going back to chocolate today. So I had a piece of chocolate, put on a patch, and off my merry way that I go.
Interesting. I didn't have any
Migraines are
chocolate.
no fun.
I know, and everyone's like, it's migraine, it's caffeine, but then I think, I don't know. So I had a piece of chocolate, and it's better. So what can I tell you? We had the cutest kids in the neighborhood, though. They all, I mean, they're so little. It reminded me back when my kids were little trick-or-treating, and their costumes and what they were afraid of and what excited them. And it's just so cute. One little boy came around one time apparently in an inflatable chicken costume. And he tripped, he fell, he bloody knees, like 3. And Grandma was with him and Mom was with him, and they put on Band-Aids and sent him out on a second round without his inflatable chicken costume. So he's just going as a handsome boy, which was really, really cute.
That's the best costume.
Right? It's like, who are you? He goes, I'm a handsome boy. And he went around again, he gathered all his candy, and it was really sweet. They had little sunflowers, and the kids are adorable.
No, the best one I saw yesterday on the block was the kid had an eggshell on his head, and then around him, they out of cardboard, they made a second eggshell, white on white like that, and he was a human chicken.
Or an egg.
Well, he was birthed out of an egg. I thought that was really ingenious.
You have kids in your neighborhood now?
I have more kids than ever.
That's what I had heard. Your neighborhood has turned over to a lot of kids.
It is. I wish that the people who ran the place were kids. Because I'm going to tell you, the adults got to go.
That's what happens, right? When the admin gets older and you think you're catering to kids, but you can't you're not even relating to them because you can't relate to them.
Yeah, you remember children. You used to eat them when you were younger.
Not
things like
me.
that.
Maybe you, Hansel and Gretel, but...
Not you, I mean them.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, so, because all the roomies, they forgot what it is to be a kid.
But they're really cute.
It's like I was at the supermarket one day in New York, and the lady's smacking the kid because he's crying. So I went over.
Hot corn. I love corn dogs, by the way.
Do you?
Me too. Is that?
Oh
weird?
my gosh, how cute is that?
What's the sweet relish?
Mustard relish and ketchup. Adorable. Wow.
If I squeeze them, no, never mind. So this lady is hitting the kid, and I said to her, "What are you doing?" She says, "I want him to stop crying."
Stop hitting him.
So I said, "Can I hit you?" I told her, "Can I hit you? Let me see if you stop crying. What's the matter with you?"
That's what happened. My mom used to say, I'll smack you if you don't stop crying, and then you're going to really have a reason to cry. It's like, what?
My mom said the same thing.
My mother said the same
Give
thing.
you a reason to cry about. Right.
My mother said the same thing to me. She says, "Mom, logically, I'm going to cry because you said that." And she says to me, "No, you didn't hear me." I says, "I'm going to give you a reason to cry." I already have a reason. You're going to give me a second reason?
I wonder if the kid, did you go trick-or-treating, Chelsea? No. Josh, I think, gave candy out in the neighborhood. I wonder if G-Man went. Any of the crew went. You did.
G-Man at you?
Yes.
His parents did or gave out candy or something.
His parents gave out a lot of candy.
We gave out a lot.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I hate saying this, but I used to put on a stocking. You wouldn't let me wear it this time, over my head. And we used to go get candy from kids.
No.
I'm laughing.
I cannot encourage
You know why he's
that
laughing?
behavior.
Because he knows.
He did it.
He knows. He did it too.
Right.
He did it
Cannot
too.
encourage
You
that
never did
behavior.
that behavior?
Put a stocking over my head and stole candy from children?
Yeah.
No.
No,
Oh,
girls
please.
don't do that.
Who
kind
would
of
do
stuff.
that?
Would you tell us?
Yes.
Would you tell us if you did?
Me?
Would
I
you
was,
stick your hand in that bag and say, "This is delicious"?
No, I was the person that was giving my candy away to other people.
Right.
Well, I had to take some from my kids and friends because they had too much candy.
No, I
No
would
good
never
for their
do
sugar.
that.
So I was making sure I took some out.
And then they say that the dentist, I guess, will buy your candy back. So a lot of the pediatric dentists in town, they'll buy them back with like tokens or toys. Like they don't give you money for it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's G-Man.
Because the dentists don't want you eating all that candy either, so they'll like barter you. If you bring this, you get like a token, and then the token you can buy stickers or something, and then they take the candy.
So the dentists are bribing you because I'm going to see you soon. Here, eat a little of this, give me a little of that, here, a little of this, give me some of that.
No more candy.
It's horrible.
But
So
it
you
was-
had a good trick-or-treat?
I guess I
There's
sat
no
outside.
trick-or-treat. I didn't
gave
put
out
the
some
ribbon
candy
around the
and-
post box, so they don't come to the house.
But you know, Chuck likes to talk, and because he works from home now,
Oh, really?
he doesn't really talk to anybody. So when he sees people, it's like, oh my God, it's like hours and hours. So we got a car. I got a new car, and the car has Google in it. And I said, well, if you ever get lonely, you can just go in the car and have a full conversation with Google, or drive like to Orlando, and you can have an entire conversation with your car, and then you'll have somebody to always talk to.
He's going to drive to Orlando to have a conversation with his car?
With Google, because now Google
With
talks
Google?
to him, so he can have an entire conversation with Google. Google, where should I go? Google Maps, how do I get there? And they can have this whole conversation.
I know, I've tried that. You ever talk to Google?
No.
No.
I don't
It's a-
talk to Siri either.
It's a female, and I asked, "How are you feeling today?" And she says, "Pretty good, except I'm a little gassy."
I've never talked to Google. I've never talked to Siri. But so anyone that came by, most people, I go, "Happy Halloween, trick or treat," and on the way, nope, not Chuck.
Chuck has to drive to Orlando.
At one point, I said, "You know what? I got to go and make dinner," and he was just still talking and still talking, and he likes to talk.
How's that patch treating you? You see the difference in the patch and no patch?
Isn't that unbelievable?
It's like turning over. So yesterday for
It's like
dinner, I
that.
tried something different.
What'd you try?
So we had spaghetti, pasta, and we took a can of beans, pork and beans, but it's just the beans with no pork in it. Just the beans. What is that? Those can of beans,
Chili beans?
like
Kidney beans?
like pork and beans. You know, pork and beans, but this didn't have any pork in it. It was just the beans.
Beans, okay.
Okay, it's the one with the famous guy with the beans.
Bushes.
Chef
That
Boyardee?
guy, Bushes.
Bushes, okay.
Oh, Chef Boyardee, you know something? You got jokes. You got jokes. So we took that and we took some hamburger meat, chopped it up, and put it in there, put it on there with a little tomato sauce, and mixed it all up. I'm gonna tell you, it's pretty good. Just
Sounds
trying
disgusting.
something.
I'm just saying.
Listen, a lot of things you do in life are disgusting, but you still do them. But anyway, moving on. But I'm gonna tell you, pretty good. That was my Halloween story. I wanted to trick or treat myself.
Treat yourself. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we've got Dawn DeMarco book. We're going to be hearing the next segment of Faith Stories. Some more to come on the other side of this commercial break.
Hopefully we're coming back.
Hopefully
with
you're
this thing, you don't
hopefully
know.
see us. 888
You'll see us somewhere. Don't know quite where.
We got games, Chelsea.
Yeah, we can interview her first and do the game.
All right, more to come.
I'm not happy with this game.
We haven't seen the. Oh,
No, I already
it's
know it.
complicated. We'll be right back.
I'm very happy.
It's tiny.
Amp Media Productions proudly announces Music Nights. We invite you to a 2-night concert event, November 10th and December 1st, starring J.C. Dreesen with her Salute to the Veterans. And True Lumens, the greatest Fleetwood Mac tribute band on the land. For more information and to grab your tickets, head over to events.amp2.tv. That is events.amp2.tv, and don't be late.
AMP2 Media Productions, in collaboration with True Oldies Radio and Comcast TV, bring you the opportunity to spotlight your business on Monday Night Football on ESPN. By targeting your preferred Comcast region, your commercial will be spotlighted during NFL and NCAA football season, reaching over 1 million viewers. Let AMP help you amplify your impact in the community. Contact us at 866-224-5422 to create your own commercial today.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina along with spokesman Rob. So Rob, tell the folks at home who should call right now.
Just like you said, Gina, anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault, you don't have an attorney, give us a call right now. We're going to answer all of your questions and we'll let you know what your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Rob. You heard it, folks at home. Pick up the phone, call now.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I figure if we pray hard enough, maybe this stuff will start making sense.
I know. We're actually going to transition this right over to Dawn DeMarco Book.
Well, I thank you guys. So today my guest is Jan Haas. She's a dear friend from church, and she has a compelling story that she wants to share. What she walked through. How long ago was it?
17 years started.
Okay, so 17 years ago, she had shared this with me one day right before church, and so I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let you just go, and then we'll interject, and we'll go from there. How's that?
Sounds good. My name is Jan Haas. I am a commercial property manager, and love the Lord though, and met Dawn, as she said, at church. And as we got to know each other, I felt comfortable in sharing my story with her. And it was September 12th of 2006. I got a phone call about 6:30 in the morning from my dad, and all he could say was, he killed my baby. And my brother-in-law killed my sister. And then he killed himself and left behind a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old. And that's where my real journey with God, I was already saved for many years, but that's when my real journey with the Lord began.
And so, as a result of what happened, how did you handle that? Even though you had faith, when something like that happens, you have to cling so hard to understand why that happened. So how did your faith help you through that? Because, I had my cousin was murdered, and my aunt literally forgave the person who murdered her daughter. But it took a while, and she would go and see him in jail, but she forgave him. So how is it that you got through that, Jan? How did your faith help you through that?
Well, it doesn't start there. You have to get there. The first week was really kind of a blur because she lived in Kentucky. So my family went to Kentucky to prepare the memorial there while I stayed behind and did the memorial here and planned to get her body here. Okay. And in that time, I was really alone going through it. And then when, after everything was done, my dad became so bitter and so angry.
Did he have faith?
He did not at the time, and he felt like because Randy killed himself, that nobody really paid for it. Like he wanted justice. Right. And there's nothing wrong with wanting justice. But I used to say to him, and this is where I think that God really just showed up for me. I used to say, Dad, you can't do this in front of the kids, first of all.
Right.
I said, but, you have to think about how sick and, mentally he was to be able to do this to himself, let alone to Kim Marie, So it was in that season of ministering to my dad that God really brought me through it.
Okay. So what was the process, though? Because I really want to dig a little bit deeper than just God got me through it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's more to it than that. What did you do each day? Were you angry with God? There's those steps that lead you to the other side. So what are those steps that you took in order for you to get to the place that you are today?
Well, there again, it took many years because after that, I lost 9 more family members
9
in 8 years. Yeah.
Oh my God. Could you
And-
imagine? You know, usually they say it comes in 3, but you had it 3 times 3. So
Yeah. I'll never forget. After my brother Stephen passed away, he was the last one. It was a year later. I was at my desk and I was doing something that the date occurred to me that it was that date, and I just said, "Oh, I didn't bury anybody this year." And then I
Wow.
thought, "Who thinks this way?"
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But that was my world for 8 years. You know, was just loss after loss after loss.
Did you ever wonder? There's so many questions I have.
I know, right?
So your brother-in-law kills your sister. Obviously, it was more than God got me through it, right? This
Right.
was traumatic. I can totally understand why your father was the way he felt. Were there any warning signs? Did you think that this was a violent man, that she was in an abusive relationship? Anything that would trigger it, like when it happened, you're like, oh, we kind of knew?
I wouldn't say that we knew that it was happening then, but I will say that my dad was never really comfortable with that marriage, and that's really not my story to tell.
Yeah.
But at one point, he did tell her that if you ever try to leave me, I will kill you because nobody else will have you.
So there were violent
There,
tendencies
and he
there.
was medicated at some point. You know, there was signs that it could happen, but I mean, they were married 20 years at the time already.
The kids?
The 19 and 17-year-olds. Yeah.
So what was it like for them and as their aunt for you to go forward and work and help them?
Well, actually, that is in and of itself a God story. I was never able to have children, and I tried and tried, went through all of the different steps. And when they were left behind, I really just felt like these were the kids that I was supposed to take care of, and that God knew that before I ever would.
Well,
Right?
he knows our whole story. He knows from the beginning to the end and what's in between. So he gifted you those children, even though God can take horrible circumstances and turn it for his good, right?
Yeah,
That's what
absolutely.
we know. Right.
Did they move in with you?
No, they actually, my niece Samantha was already in college. She was going into her, I believe, sophomore year. And her brother had come down here to live with my parents to go to the Art Institute Fort Lauderdale. So he had just moved out. And it was actually after my brother-in-law brought him down here to live with my parents. When he went back, my sister was gone. And that started the whole thing. The whole ball rolling, I should say.
And then how did you get through it?
I would say for me, I became the person that carried the family, so I didn't deal with my stuff.
Yeah.
I truly did not. I planned all of those memorials. I was on a church staff at the time, so I was supposed to be okay because my faith. I had to represent Jesus right, and all of that, which is really the part
all
of
you're
this
doing is suppressing
Yeah.
what you're feeling and what you need to let out, because if you don't let it out, if you don't allow that grief to come out, but you didn't allow yourself, because that's what you do as Jan,
Right.
because I know you suppress, it's like you put on this facade.
I'm fine.
And a lot of people do that. They put that facade up saying, oh, I'm okay. No, I'm okay. No, you're not. You just lost your sister was murdered by your brother-in-law. You had 9 people die in a matter of 9 years. 9 years. 8 years. Hello. It's like, how do you cope with that? What is your coping mechanism? And your coping mechanism was basically staying busy. So as a result of that, what happened? Because you can't continue on that. What happened after you started not coping anymore?
Well, my brother, David, was diagnosed with lung cancer, and he was, he was the 7th one to die, but my mom was his caretaker, and she was not doing well either and didn't tell us. And Dave died on Monday, and my mom died on Friday
Oh my God.
that week. And that's when I got really mad at God. That's when I had my moment of, I just said, you hate me. How could you do this to me? How could you continue to take my family from me? I've lived a lie for 20 years. I was walking with the Lord 20 years at the time, and I walked away. You know, I just felt like, when is it someone else's turn? And, you know, God said, well, who would you like that to be? So it was at that point that I turned away from the Lord for about 1.5 years. But funny, I would end up in church every once in a while. I had to go to church, but I just wanted nothing to do with it. And I ended up trying to take my life. And that was, again, another turning point that I woke up in the hospital and I was so mad that I was alive. And, you know, God just spoke to my heart. It was not your life to take. You gave it to me.
Wow.
And at that point, I said, this doesn't make sense. So you have to make sense of this because I can't do this anymore. And 4 days later, I went to Calvary Boca. Mm-hmm. I started meeting everybody, and that became my home church. And I did it. I oversee Grief Share, which is the grief ministry, which I've been doing for 4 years now. And he has taken all of my pain and my hurt and gotten me through that. But I sat for 1 year just going to church before I did anything else, and just getting back into that place that I love God and I wanted to serve him, and I wanted him to use it to make sense, because it was the only way that I could continue to walk.
Right. I'm amazed you're still here and standing and just sharing your faith, and how that got, literally just clinging to him through all the loss that you've experienced, and that he is with us through those times, and that because you had that faith already there. What about people, I mean, in the Grief Share, do you have people that come in that not necessarily have faith? They're just there because they do come. Because I know with Calvary Boca, they invite people who are walking through grief. So how does that component, how do you handle something like that?
Well, the program is always going to be biblically based, because I truly feel that I don't know how people get through this without God.
I don't either.
I just don't.
Life's too messed up.
It's so stinking messy. So I always keep it faith-based, and I always point people to God in that, even if they're not walking with the Lord or they don't know him. But I've had the honor of, through the Grief Share, of leading 3 people to the Lord, so that they now have a relationship with him. Because when they see that I'm real, I'm transparent, and that I acknowledge that it's nothing that I've done and everything that God has done, they want that. So I've had 3 different people say, how do I get to where you are? And how do I have what you have? And it's in that, you know, those are some of those blessings. But, you know, I'm just going to love people that are hurting. And saved, not saved, Jewish, it doesn't matter.
Well, let me ask you, Jan, how do we do it? Because there are people that have loss, right? We see catastrophes, right? We're dealing with Israel and the Middle East. We've had 9/11. We've had horrific mass shootings. But then if your loved one is in one of those, we have, like you went through. And we can work in this human body, only for so much can we handle on our own. How do you minister, I guess for lack of a better term, to somebody else, instead of just saying, Dawn, have faith? Because that's hard to say or to act on if you don't have it at the moment, because you're grieving so much. Right. So is there a physical process? Is there an emotional journey that you help people go through?
Well, you know what? That's why I love the Grief Share program. It really starts from the very beginning of, this is where you're at walking into the door. And 13 weeks later, we've peeled this onion back and we've dealt with the things that are normal. You know, most people going into that situation feel like they're alone and they're losing their mind. You know, for me, the first time that I went, I left there feeling like, I'm not losing my mind. I'm not crazy. These are all normal processes of grief. And so I just help people to walk through that. And I always will lead them to what Scripture says, how I am able to trust God because His Word says, and I believe that. But a person who's not there, I just can love on them, and I could say, I promise you, you can get to the other side of this.
And is this a program that you started, this Grief Share group?
No, no, our church just hosts
Through your
it. It's
church.
it's a ministry that has, through Church Initiative, has been around for years. They have a divorce program as well. And it's just an amazing walk through. It does, you don't have to take too much in at one time. You know,
And
like
I think for people to realize other people are going through the same thing, right? We
Right.
say we never walk alone, but at that moment in time, we feel as if we're walking alone.
Right.
And nobody can understand because you're you, right? You're not your sister, your mother, your brother. Only you feel the way you feel. But to
Right.
be able to walk into a space and maybe someone else feels similar experience, you realize, you know what? There's a connection, somebody else I can speak with.
Yeah, I always tell them, you know, I will never tell you that I know how you feel.
Nobody knows.
You know, I know what you're going through, but I know how you feel because I know what that pain feels like. That I know, and that is our common ground, and we can work through it from there.
Right. And everybody deals differently with grief. I mean, some people, you know, they walk through it and it's quickly. And I remember people would tell me, you know, move past, you know, my parents' loss. And I'm like, no, I'm going to grieve however long it takes. I still have moments where it's like, oh my gosh, you know, grief can hit you at any moment. And it comes out of the blue. So you can't tell someone, oh, you need to be past that. Oh, when people say that to me, I'm like, seriously? You know, you have to allow that process to happen, right?
And it's a lifelong process.
Yeah.
September was 17 years, you know, since I lost my sister. And there are still times that I want to call her and tell her something cool that's happened.
Yeah.
Or I just want to talk to her because I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, whatever the case may be. It is an ongoing process that I
Right.
believe we walk through until we don't
We
walk
see
any
them
longer.
again, yeah.
You know, and, you know, so... Yeah, it's just, and everybody does do it differently. Like I'm the oldest of 10. There's 5 of
Wow.
us still alive. You know, but even, you know, to watch the rest of the family, everybody went through it differently. Everybody's handled it differently. You know, and I've been blessed that because of my faith walking through it, even though I messed up so badly after 10 years.
Oh, we all mess up.
My family has come to understand and want to know the Lord as well. So
But do you
I
think
know.
it's a mess up, or do you think it's just part of your journey of finding it in a deeper spiritual way?
It's part of my journey. It's where God had to take me. Absolutely, Dawn. I feel like I would not be who I am today had I not done that. You know, I say all the time, you know, I would never choose to go through what I went through to get to where I am, but I wouldn't change it either.
Yeah.
As much
what-
as I would
So
love
true.
to have my family back,
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it because I am who I am and I have empathy and compassion and I walk so many people through this because God made it make sense.
That's
Right.
why you're here.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Wow.
The sometimes it's the mannerism of how and things happen. In this case, that's a tremendous blow. You know, there's in the boxing ring, it's sometimes not only the punch you land, it's the punch you can take. And sometimes we have these devastating deals that linger. It makes from ground zero outwards, which is the rest of your life, tremendous. When my brother died of a heart attack at a movie theater, he was the first one we lost in our family. There was only 5 of us. And that was a tremendous blow to all of us because they thought that he was Mr. Indestructible.
Right.
And we had to linger on with that. And his son now became my son. And now I just lost Harry. I lost his son to diabetes. You know, the tragedies of the things that we overcome are to test and show our belief, for lack of a better understanding. Because you're never going to understand why things happen the way they happen. We all know eventually all of us move on. But it's what you do with the stuff for yourself that really, really counts. And you've taken this journey not once, and because there were 2 involved, not twice, but you've taken it for your own, you've taken it 3 times. And sometimes when you come out of the other side of this thing, you can explain to others, you too can walk through all of this. But don't expect people to be able to do that because we're still humans.
Right.
And we still have feelings. And there is no right, there is no mess ups, it's just life. You know, there are people that I know in your circumstances that decided to be angry and take other people's lives. That's how violent they got, the way they received the news that they got. So it just, you know, sometimes you got to look around and say, boy, I'm having a bad day. You know, today nothing's working. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and from Jump Street, nothing works. Come in here, nothing works. And then I hear your story. I'm going to tell you, my day is pretty good.
Aw,
Thank you.
Because it isn't easy being you.
no.
Well, you know what? My day's pretty good too. You know, and that is, I just went through a health scare as well this summer, and you know, I'm just grateful for every day that I have. At this point, I'm grateful for breath. I'm grateful that I woke up. So, you know, life is what it is, and I love that you said this, Freddie. You know, it's not how many times you're knocked down; it's how many times you get up.
Get up.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't
Absolutely.
that the saying?
Absolutely.
And you can get up with
Absolutely.
grace and faith, or you can get up and be bitter and live a life full of bitterness. And who wants to live life like that? I mean, I would rather live it in joy. You know, I mean, I had some friends over on Sunday, and, you know, I mentioned about my chronic pain, or someone brought it up. And I was talking to you, Dawn, earlier, and it's like the one woman knew, she doesn't know me very well. She said, I could never tell that you suffer from chronic pain. And I'm like, you know, I choose to live in joy, but, you know, behind the scenes when you're not here, I got an ice pack on, you know, but that's okay. Because that's, you know, you have to continue to walk through. You know, I just have to share a cute little story about my dad, who, when I would call him, he would always answer Donald Duck voice. He would always just, I mean, he always had a funny voice, and I would always crack up. And I miss that so much. But I'm so glad my dad gave me that gift of laughter. And the other thing that I want to share is when he was dying, he literally was telling a joke to the hospice nurse. Didn't finish it, so he finished that joke in heaven, and I love that. You know? So on that note, I just, you know, I wanted to just bring a little happy and light to how, what, you know, Faith Stories is all about. And Jan, I just want to thank you so much for coming and sharing, you know, because that's not an easy story to share. I mean, you've had so much loss, and yet here you sit, and here you just, you know that God is with you no matter what you walk through. And yeah, she did have a health scare in June after your surgery, right?
And how are
Yes.
you now?
I'm good. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us, and I know your story will be an inspiration. And now, if we're officially in fall, this is one of the most difficult times for people everywhere
Yes.
because it's holiday season, right? As joyful as everyone's supposed to be in joy, there are things that you start missing family, right? You think about your own mortality and aging and aches and pains, and it's not always joyful. So if you are feeling any which way other than joy and you need some support, reach out to us. We'll get you in contact with Jan or Dawn or resources around your community, because it's not always a Hallmark Channel moment, although we want it to be.
Yeah. Wait
It's
for the
not,
kiss.
right?
Yes, no.
It's life, but there are people in
Right.
this real life that are
Yeah.
here to help you and support you and help you through all of it. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Dawn, thank you so much for still believing in us after all these years.
I know, I
and
love
bringing
it.
this forward.
I'm just excited to bring this to you guys' program, because I think that people really do need hope. And, you know, it's hard. Life is hard, but you can have joy in the midst of the hard walk or journey that you're on.
It's been a tough week for a lot of people, and
It's been a tough week for me. I got to tell you, for myself, this has been really, really a
Yeah.
tough week. What's today?
only Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
My goodness gracious. But I got to tell you, and this is the second episode that we've done with Dawn, and I gotta tip my hat, because every time you do this, there's another story that just, you know, it makes you appreciate life.
Right.
It makes you appreciate the colors of that canvas. It makes you appreciate the person sitting in that chair. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a tremendous value. And they're young. When they get a little older, they're going to
Right.
sort of remember these days, and they're going to understand. See, that crazy guy with the hat, he had a point. And you're the point. You know, you have given today an acknowledgement.
So thank you. We're going to take a commercial break. I think we've got some games. Faith-based games. So we've got Dawn and Jan are going to join us the other
Not
side of
that
the
again.
studio. And then we've got Pamela
That
Chanel
again?
David joining us. Some more to come on the other side
I
of
guess
this
so.
break and the 1 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
Do you want the opportunity to have a TV show or podcast? Now, at Amp Media Productions, you can host your very own visual broadcast anywhere around the world. With our talented group of creators, we will provide you with show elements, board operations, and any on-screen visuals you'd like to showcase. All you must do is log onto your computer and communicate with your viewers. Contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422 or email hello@amp2.tv to start your own show today.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new CareWatch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The CareWatch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. The CareWatch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your CareWatch right now. Operators are standing by.
Love the Brooklyn Cafe? Don't miss out on some of the latest merch we have available. Need a new shirt? The Brooklyn Cafe has you covered. We have a variety of shirts in all sizes, ranging from the classic cafe shirt to the highly coveted colorful hot dog shirt. Need something for cold weather? Why not grab one of our cafe hoodies? Or you can snuggle up with one of our soft silk touch fabric blankets. The Brooklyn Cafe has everything you need, from clothing about the show to our signature coffee blends and mugs. Get it while supplies last.
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
You got to move. Hit it far.
took our mics.
I need 5 and 6
Where
back.
you took our mics. When you could bring those back, please. You gotta love it. Positive direction. It's all about heading into fall with some nice weather and all the things that we do.
I got to tell you, this Monday night,
What you got cooking?
the Jets are playing the Chargers.
Yeah.
And yesterday was the trade deadline of what's going on. And the Jets didn't make a move. So this Monday night, we're lucky enough to put commercials out there for Monday Night Football on ESPN. We've had the contract since the beginning, since the preseason. And only 1 or 2 companies are taking advantage of this thing. And I got to tell you, what I don't understand is when people tell me that they were like...
4. Guess we're going to try it.
No, not 4. I need 5
Can you
and
guys
6.
give me 6, please?
The object of the game here is that you want to be heard on the largest platforms available, right? So if you have a commercial, or you have a 30-second pitch, an elevator pitch, or you have a 30-second, listen, I'm here, this is what I do for a living, give me a call, see if I can serve you, then why wouldn't you do it on the largest platforms available? So Monday Night Football, the last time the Jets played on it, there was 27 million people that watched that game. 27 million. I couldn't match that numbers with anything, especially 10 radio stations. I could never match that number, no matter what. Except we had our commercial on ESPN radio as well, on ESPN TV as well, and it works. So this Monday, they are expecting again big numbers because Aaron Rodgers is getting closer and closer. And these are numbers and people that are in the sport game and everything else.
I saw someone went as him for Halloween, and they had just torn their Achilles. And they're like, I kind of went a little too far.
Well, the bottom line here is if you have a business and you want to be heard, I'm telling you, for the price that they are charging for this 30-second spot, you only allow 1 on ESPN football. You should come in here
1
and
per
talk
game.
to us. 1 per game. You can't get more
You can
than
do the
1.
rest of the season, but 1 per game, yeah.
Correct. You should come in and take a look and see if it was beneficial to you. I know that All County did it, and All County is very, very happy with what's happening with them right now as a business. You don't believe me? Call them and ask them.
John's texting me now.
Call them and ask them. I mean, you don't understand, or maybe you do understand, if you ever see a news or something on the news and they say, like CBS does this now, oh, call us and try this shampoo. They get millions of orders. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I couldn't replicate this thing if I wanted to. But I'm begging you, this Monday's game, Jets and Chargers, is big news because everybody thinks the Jets are about to go this way, but we all know that maybe they go this way.
Or maybe they don't. Stay in faith.
All I'm saying is,
With the Jets, you don't. I'm sorry.
she's only been a
never
Jet fan
know.
for 5 minutes. I've been doing this for 59 years. The bottom line is this. Put your commercial on ESPN football, 1 commercial, and let's talk and see what happens. That's all I'm saying.
You know, we get to interview. Did you guys see the first animated football game that was on about a month ago, 6 weeks ago?
No, I
It was an
didn't.
animated football game with Toy Story characters, and
Okay.
it was in conjunction with the live game. What game was it? I don't even remember who was
It
playing.
was in
'cause
England. It was Jacksonville and somebody else.
It didn't even matter to me who was playing, but you got to
Right.
watch. There were separate commentators, and everyone was in Andy's bedroom on a green field.
Toy Story.
And Slinky Dog was like, what's it called, the goal measurer? So
Oh,
he
yeah.
was the 10-yard. It was adorable.
It was a yardstick, 10 yards. It's
So
looking up.
cute.
I'm
So
sorry,
we
I
got to
missed
interview
that.
the animators on Tuesday that did this for ESPN Animation. So that's going to
Really?
be an amazing opportunity.
Royce put that together. She's done a few things, but that's the latest thing that she's doing as well. And they're going to come and talk
Royce
to us.
did that.
Yeah.
Royce put that whole deal together.
She
And
put it
actually,
together.
next week, we've had a huge week coming up at Movies of Delray. Next Thursday, we've got a special private event for some of our crew. Next Friday, we've got J.C. Dreesen concert, a salute to our veterans, and I'm very honored and happy to announce that Honor Flight of Southeast Florida is going to be working in conjunction with us. A portion of the proceeds, or if you want to make an extra donation, is going to go back to Honor Flight of Southeast Florida. And coincidentally, which there are never, they only have 4 flights a year, and there happens to be one this Saturday. They're coming back. It costs $140,000 for a day to get our veterans from World War II, Korean, and Vietnam vets to Washington, D.C., to the monuments to have a day of
I've heard of
celebration, the
them.
best day of their life, and then fly them back.
And they land at West Palm Beach Airport.
At
Very
7:30 Saturday night. And apparently people go out with signs and banners and thousands of people come out to honor our vets. So they're going to be joining us at the J.C. Dreesen concert, and it's all based on donations, $140,000 per flight. So they are excited. I've sent them some information. Hopefully we'll get to interview them next week before the event on Friday night.
We're hoping to send a crew out.
Cool.
So I'm hoping to get some film on that on Friday. And then Saturday night, we've got a premiere of this movie called Americanish. Again, Royce brings that forward. And the director, Roy Wall, it's about a Pakistani family, young girls coming over to America. It's a major rom-com and what they want out of life and assimilating into society. And one wants to be a Pakistani doctor, one wants to marry a Pakistani doctor. You know, I like...
It's a comedy. It's hilarious.
Right?
Yeah, I was here when you guys were interviewing him.
It's hilarious.
And there it is. There's some of the behind the scenes. So it's really such a great opportunity to come out, meet the directors and meet and greet, red carpet event. Tickets are only $8 for that event. You can go to Movies of Delray and get all of your tickets for Americanish and the J.C. Dreesen concert, or go to events.amp2.tv. And then on Sunday, we've got the Walk to End Alzheimer's over at Sunset Cove Amphitheater.
That's 11 to 1 as well.
We got a busy weekend, I know, next weekend, so I'm going to have all my patches on and no time for a migraine next week.
And it's funny because the flight,
Honor
Flight people were talking to J.C. Dreesen because her community where she lives has like a contingency that goes to the airport. And they have the banners and the sign. Have you ever seen when the military come home?
Yep.
I was in Atlanta, Georgia at the airport on a flyover up to Boston that I had to go do a shoot. And I'm sitting there minding my own business, having a cup of coffee, reading the paper. And all these people rush over and they start applauding and screaming and chanting. I thought it was J-Lo that walked in the building. It was our soldiers walking in from a plane. And I said, well, do you people even know these? No, we don't. We don't care. And they were applauding and screaming. And there was a group of guys that came in. And I found out that they do this every time they come over. It was from Afghanistan. They were coming over Iraq. JC is talking to these people. She calls me. And she says, are you serious? Are you guys going to be covering this? Are they the ones that are going to come to the concert? I go, yeah, we're in negotiation with them. Well, you're not going to believe this. My people, where I live, are part of that. And I've been talking to them to see if we can get into that organization to represent the veterans of the concert. I said, well, we already got it. We got to the chairman, Janet, yeah. We got to the head of this thing, head of the thing. Let's see how far we get to it.
Yeah, I don't do chain of command very well. I just go right.
But we didn't know.
I don't know. I got to go to the top. What do you want
we
from
didn't
me?
know. We just reached out to them and she called us back. So,
why not?
And I said, why doesn't everybody work together? Let your community work with this.
Right?
Well, let's everybody
I would
work.
be there in a heartbeat, but I'm in Orlando, so. But any other time, I would have been there because we need to honor our military.
You know when you're on the phone and there's this critical part of the conversation and it drops? I'm on the phone with her yesterday. And you're waiting for the phone to come back because you think you're going to put all the pieces together. And I missed the day. Oh, no. And she comes back and I'm like, and what day did you say that was? Because it dropped right on that critical point of this conversation. And she told me it was November 4th, so it's this Saturday. So definitely check all these great events out. We're going to put another post out. We're going to share it again so you can follow us.
It's this Saturday.
It's this Saturday. Are you in town?
I am.
Oh, there you go.
Cool.
What's this Saturday?
I thought it was next Saturday.
That they're returning.
I apologize.
No.
The vets are returning
Yes.
this Saturday.
Yes,
the
correct.
vets are returning this Saturday.
Okay.
And the next Saturday is
Next Saturday, you'll be away. That's where the
concert.
concert is.
Okay, I gotcha.
But it's at the West Palm Beach airport they're going to be, and you'll see the crowds walking towards it.
Okay.
A lot of people show up, over 100, 200 people show up for this thing, I was told.
What time do they show?
I think
believe
it's
it's
7:30?
7:30, and then I said to her, AM or PM?
PM?
And she was like, PM, as we're
PM,
returning.
because they fly up and come back.
Right, we're returning from
But
that.
they only do 4 flights a year.
Wow.
Now, I got to interview
You did.
a gentleman on one of the flights.
Did you really?
It was somebody's dad. It was
Her brother-in-law, Harry Holwasser.
Holwasser, and I got one Holwasser.
I like how he looked at you.
But the funny thing is, he's 89.
I think he's older than that.
Maybe
I think.
90 something.
Yeah.
The day that I interviewed him was in Studio B. I wasn't supposed to interview him. I think it was you. Somebody was supposed to interview, and I sat and I asked him one question. An hour later,
Oh, wow.
we did the interview. We put it on the radio a couple of times.
He, I think, drove. He led Patton's army into.
He drove the Jeep.
Are you
for
kidding?
Patton.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
And the
it's just
stories-
amazing. We should look for the interview.
We
see if
should, because
still
we
have
can
it.
use that. And the stories he talked about World War II it just made you cry.
Oh, yeah.
But I couldn't believe how I even got involved in I thought she would do it or somebody would do it because it was about him, the
Yeah,
Holocaust.
but you are so entrenched and immersed in the military and soldiers and paying honor to that no one would have done it as service to what you wanted to ask and how you feel about it. Because
Well-
it really is deep in your heart.
And you know, he was of age, so I had to talk a little bit louder and everything else. And he gave me the answers. And this is one of those moments that, unless you've gone to Germany and you've seen the places, the Holocaust, if you haven't been in, you haven't walked through it. It's like when I went to St. Augustine, that I walked on the first lands. You know, forget about Plymouth Rock, because they have the history to show that the real first lands was here in Florida.
Right, St. Augustine.
And that dirt, if you take dirt, you go down 6 inches and you hold that dirt and you put it in a bag, you're talking about life history in this country, and you can't deny the truth of it.
Right.
This is what this man did for me. He explained it. He was there. He explained the smells. He explains the stuff that still went on, the spirits, how he felt. The whole thing went. It was a great interview. And when it was all over, I tell the Dawn, what happened? Well, I just asked one question, and this thing just took a life of its own. She's on?
She's on. We're going to do, let's play her spinner and bring her. You want to do a
You
game
see how
first?
quickly we change gears here?
I
But
know.
anyway,
Wait.
that's what we got coming up. So
Squirrel.
get your tickets,
I
m2.tv,
know.
events at m2.tv, or go to Eventbrite. You can also get the tickets for JC.
All right, let's roll the mindset for business success. We're going to do the game after because we told her 1:15. So
There's like a lot of parts to it.
I know.
You have too many parts. What are we doing?
Yep.
What are you doing?
What we're doing.
And we're back.
And we're back. I'm excited. This is actually a segment we do on Thursdays, and Dawn DeMarco book is going to be Wednesdays or Thursdays. I'm not quite sure. We're in negotiation Wednesdays because once a month on Thursdays we go to Boca City Leads. So tomorrow we will be at Boca City Leads, so we won't
I
be
didn't
here.
know that either.
I think you need
Nobody
like a memory
gives me the
patch.
memo. No, I didn't know it was tomorrow. What's the beginning of the month, right?
Tomorrow's.
Hey. So how you doing?
Thank you. So how you doing? And you all wonder why I get a migraine.
Do you know in football there's something called the Hogs? Josh should tell you the Washington Redskins were called the Hogs.
Right.
And do you know what they used to do?
They used to
Snort?
snort.
That was the way they
Yeah,
did
they
it.
wore the snort. No, the
Yeah.
snout nose.
Yeah. We should do that when you're here. We should wear that.
So we've
no.
moved Chanel's segment to Wednesday. I see you. Freddie is still like the head.
Chanel, I don't know what the
was
hell's
it
going on
called?
here. I'm so lost.
What was it? Welcome back, Cotter.
Yeah.
With the
Sweat
hedgehog-
hogs?
Sweat
Horse
hogs.
shack.
I was going to say
Hedgehogs, sweat hogs.
Hedgehogs.
Horseshack.
Hedgehogs.
He snorted.
Vinny,
Right?
Vinny Barbarino. Barbarino.
This is what happens when you're not here. Do you see?
Can you hear me? Hello?
I can now.
She's wondering why she, couldn't
muted
hear
us,
anything.
and she's
You
like-
muted us. Can you hear us? Testing 1, 2.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
good.
Good.
All right.
I have to tell you, your show this morning was amazing. Your niece is, I can't say adorable because she's a grown woman physician, but adorable for a grown woman. She's a pediatrician, like she's the perfect pediatrician.
You know, she's my cousin, so I've known her my whole life. And exactly what you just said is true. There could not be a better match with a person and a profession. I mean, she's just naturally a pediatrician, and she is incredible 27-year-old dynamo.
You know, you realize how young everybody is. So I'm looking at her, and you're like, let's make sure we have the MD after her name. What our kids, this next generation is accomplishing, and they're the next leaders and physicians and attorneys and everything in our world. And they're so young. And when we went through it, I didn't realize we were all so young.
Right.
When we chose careers, some of us went through them, some of us changed careers a few times. But I look at them and like, she's 27 and my son is 28 and your kids are 28, 27, 31, running these great companies and doing all the things they do. And we were talking during commercial break, I don't think they realize that the world is their oyster right now. That as difficult as things can be, and the exams and all the things they have to do, and even student loans, life is right there for them to enjoy. And I think they say youth is wasted on the youth. They don't realize the opportunities and what they have until you're our age and you look back and go, man, we should have realized and not worried about whatever it was, or the credit card bill or the dollar store, because you know what, it all works out. But gosh, if we could have enjoyed it a little bit more then.
Absolutely. And you know, the world has changed so much. I mean, they are facing things that we just didn't need to change. There's always controversies that go on, but the scope of what is going on now, we need their hope. We need their light. We need all of that at a much bigger level.
You know, maybe we can talk this segment about the mindset for business success and what it's like for that generation, because last week we talked about the 4 generations in the workforce, and we know our generation, we've screwed it up for a lot of people. Our parents' generation, they're working because they either have to or they love what they're doing.
See, but I don't agree with that statement.
Which one? That we
That we screwed it up.
They all say we've screwed it
Nah,
up.
you know, the bottom line here is you got to learn resolve. And resolve doesn't come in a pink ribbon. Now, when we had the Great Depression, we had World War I, we had World War II, we had the Korean War. When we had all these things happening in this country, I couldn't blame the people before that and say that they screwed it up. You know, the bottom line here is that you got to find resolve. Resolve comes in many different
What do you
colors.
mean by resolve?
Well, look at what's happening in Washington. They can't even get out of their own way.
Like I said.
No, but they have to learn to resolve problems. You got to be able to dig deep inside of you and resolve truth and say this doesn't work and this does. And if you think that being stupid is the way to go, then you're going to get stupid returns. I'm just being honest. You know, I'm just being very, very honest. You got to have resolve. You got to have a little self-confidence. You got to take a bad situation and try to make it as well as you can. And if one thing don't work, then find another.
Yes, you know, you've got kids about our kids' ages, and they're all professionals, your cousin. What are you finding for that generation in the workforce?
Well, I think the first thing I think that this generation really has on their side is the ability to, and what you're talking about, Freddie, in terms of finding resolve is the most brilliant way to describe it. And resolve really means to be fluid and to be flexible. And that's what this generation has. You know, they aren't as set in their ways as maybe previous generations have. Things have worked for them in their upbringing at a much faster clip than anything we're used to. So I find that we really have that on their side in that they're able to keep fluid and move with the times.
I agree. I agree 1,000% because you want to stay fluid. Well, you want to be fluid. And you know something, sometimes you think you have the right answer and it's working. And watch out now, because it could go on you south real quick. But you got to have your mind sort of change and go back and forth, 1 or 2 different things. And resolve is interesting because sometimes you got to look at other people and their ideas and their visions and everything that they do for you to resolve what's inside you. And do you know that that is the hardest thing for a human being to do, is to say, you know, during the book, with the way you're doing this one thing, I love it, I want to change it in this direction, and it resolves a problem that I have, and you never saw it coming. And you live it every day. What, you saw this coming? Come on now. I mean, at least be honest about it. You know what I'm saying? Be honest. Change is good, Bad change is always going to be bad, and stupid behavior is going to give you a stupid outcome. That's just the way it is. But resolve has answers. It does. It really does. How long have we been chasing Dawn the book to do
7
business
years?
with? At least 7 years.
At least. No, I think it's longer than that. But
Maybe. How long did I chase you to come and work?
A long time.
4
4 years.
Okay, so the resolve was persistency.
Yep.
And trying to change it to accommodate, well, what am I doing wrong that they won't come? And there is the resolve. So, you know, our biggest challenge is to show younger minds that you have resolve, and it lies within them. But they have to believe.
right.
This is why your story lit me up today, because you got to carry the belief. You really do. If you're going to get spiritual, that's just gravy on the bun. But if you believe in you, which is what God always asks, that's all he's ever asked, then you can resolve almost anything in life. If
I'm sorry,
put your
did you
mind
say
to it.
gravy on the bun?
Gravy on the bun?
You heard that. I wonder, I'm thinking, you go through this whole thing, like, where's he going?
But she heard it.
Gravy on the bun.
But she heard it.
Yes.
If I would have said it's just gravy, she wouldn't have said anything.
Right, that's
on the
true.
bun.
That's
Right?
very
But
true.
when I said gravy on
I
the
was
bun,
paying attention.
she said, wait a minute, what the hell did he just say? Because sometimes delivery is just as important. That's why
Yeah.
I met this lady on the screen. I met you, and what did I tell you? We got to do something with this lady. We got to do business with this lady. We got to.
You know, every time you're on the screen, Chanel, he tells me how beautiful and amazing you are. Every time.
And I'm telling you the truth.
And you went through, and I want to talk about this. We were just talking to Jan about grief issues. You've been through something this week, but here you are, you showing up, and you're doing what you have to do. How do you do that?
Well, you know, I'm inspired by people, and that's the bottom line. Whether it's business and life, if you stay inspired by how you can impact people, the impact they can have on you, it gets you through a lot of stuff. And my dear lifelong friend passed away in his sleep Friday, and it's still incomprehensible, even though his funeral and burial was yesterday, that he's gone. And I'll be honest, I mean, it kept me down, very down for several days. And yesterday, when I was delivering the eulogy at his funeral, what I realized is that he has been a gift to me and so many others in his life. And the best respect and the best way that we can honor him is to take that inspiration that he has been to others and now give it to others. And so I woke up with a brand new perspective today. And Freddie, it goes along with what you were just saying, which is resolve doesn't have to be in stone. Resolve actually, and the basics of business and life again, is movement. And so if I could move myself along the path now of taking everything he's poured into me and bring it to others over a lifetime. We've been friends for almost 50 years.
Wow.
And in that lifetime, I've never met a more caring, giving, loving person for everyone that's ever been in his orbit. So that's how Dawn is. We have to keep moving. We have to take all these tragedies and move them along into triumphs. We have to convert them. And it's that way with business as well. You know, what you do in business and how you've been doing it for so long, and we are talking about this generation, is they tend not to get stuck. And I know that generations in the past, we've gotten stuck on this is the way we do it. And the minute you get stuck on this is the way we do it, you might as well close down.
It's true,
Because
our
it is
generation,
not
right?
in-
People stayed with the job, a lot of people, for their lifetime, right? Whatever it was, if you were a factory worker or account, whatever it is, you had your field and you stayed. This generation, and tribute to them, is when they're not happy, they move on to the next opportunity, if it works for them. They don't feel like they have to stay. because it's not serving them. It's not their work-life balance. They definitely are looking more towards a holistic approach to life than we did. Because we were just all about whatever. I mean, you've had 10,000 jobs, I know. But not a lot of people have had as many jobs as you have had.
But this is my mentality. You know, it's funny. Your philosophy was created when the great Reggie Jackson played for the New York Yankees. He was a baseball player. And they used to say that Mr. October used to be the straw that stirred the drink. And do you know, when I was a kid and I listened to that, that has been with me since the 60s, the 70s, when the Yankees were fantastic. You know why?
Yeah.
We are all a drink. But how many straws do you put in a drink? You put one. And you stir it. And that energy of stirring that drink is what makes, for me, life. So I wasn't going to stay at a job. I was going to stay at the job. You got to find the job. So I moved. I wanted to be the stirrer of the job. And I grew up with that mentality. And there was nothing wrong with it. As long as, and I'm going to tell you, I made money and I lost some money. I lost a lot of money, but I made a lot of money. But it was the journey of what I learned about people and things. You know, when I met this lady and I heard her story, I decided to lose 49 pounds.
Wow.
I decided to lower my sugar from a 13 down to a 6.3, where I'm at now, 183 pounds. That picture up there was 92 pounds heavy. And when I met you, you didn't even know this. When I met you, I said, you know what? If she can do it, I'm going to do it.
Amen.
So there you have an outside influence, resolve, finding a way. And this hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy. She'll tell you. This has been tough. But I realized that my life depends on it, the length of my life. Not my life, the length of my life. So here we go. Here we go. Find resolve and find yourself.
You know, and it's this journey. You know, speaking of my friend who I just lost, 2 weeks away from retirement, worked for the same company for 43 years.
Wow.
And although he's had wonderful experiences in his life and he had much pleasure and enjoyment, he never got to enjoy those years he wasn't going to work. And if we look at it, and again, back to this generation, one thing I'm seeing that's very encouraging, even with my own children, is that work is a major part of what they do, but they don't allow it to take them over and become the only thing they do.
Key.
That holistic approach, whether it be to life or to business, is going to be our saving grace. I'm absolutely convinced of it. And the notion of just staying with something, whether it is, Dawn, like you say, a job you're not thrilled with, or anything in life that you stay with, just because there's been a pattern or a habit, however you want to look at it, to stay with it that isn't bringing you ultimate joy, will end up being the demise. So I have to look at what's just happened as a very strong message for me to bring forward his story, in that be sure you're serving all aspects of your life, very holistic.
Yeah, and that's definitely a difference in mindset of the generation. It's not as if, what do you do for a living and that's your identity anymore.
Right.
They're more holistic and family oriented and
healthier too. Healthier.
I hope so, amen.
Listen, just be grateful that what you got needs fixing. I get it. But it always needed fixing. It always needed fixing. But you know something? Look at some of the technologies of what we've done coming forward. Man, I wish I had half the things that they have today. I wish I had those opportunities. Having a phone, a cell phone, iPhone at the age of 9. Really? Having my grandkids teach me how to work it? Really? Man, back in the day, we had leaded fuel and a V8, and we went to the beach, and that was our fun. Now they can put these glasses on and be in space. Are you kidding me?
But I think also with technology, there's a downside to technology too, because you can go out to dinner and see a family, and none of them are talking to each other.
That's true.
They're on the phone.
But that's true. But that's part of the fixing. There are things that we do that need to be fixed.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is have a little gratitude and say, you know something, not for nothing. Like I don't like the aspect of how we treat our seniors in this country. I'm sorry. It's a pet peeve for me.
Yeah.
It really is, because if it wasn't for these seniors, like a gentleman, that 94-year-old, my
Right.
father, when he was 89, if it wasn't for these people, we wouldn't have today. Just gives
No
respect to
kidding.
do.
We'd be speaking German, baby.
So all I'm saying is be grateful, be thankful, and pivot when it needs to be fixed. Like things in Washington need to be fixed. I get it. I was watching a segment on the NFL. You know, an NFL football player, when he plays his first game, he's never been hit that way in his life. And these guys are talking about famous, Ray Lewis, famous football players, that when they hit you, they put a dent in you.
Oh, yeah.
And they were saying, man, I ain't never been hit that much. But you know what? Every coach told them, welcome to the NFL.
Right, that first hit, yeah.
Okay, the average life of a football player is 5 years. But they
it's
got
not
to
long.
play, and the game is faster, more brutal than ever, right? But you have the opportunities. Same thing with technology, same thing with business, same thing with all these opportunities you have. I'm not going to look back and say anybody messed anything up. What about, you know something, it needs to be fixed, but thank you for bringing us here. Let's go get it done. What about that? Can we do that?
Well, I think, Freddie, the beginning of all of that starts with mindset, which is really why we named this segment of the show Mindset of Business Success. And it's all about shifting the mindset first in order that those course corrections, or whatever people want to call them, can happen. And Don, what we were just speaking about a minute ago, if we can, one by one, individual by individual, start the initiation of that mindset shift, it's amazing the light that we can bring. And by that I mean, instead of when you meet someone new, as an example, and ask them that question, what do you do? Right? It's what you were saying, Dawn, a second ago. People get identified with what their profession is. And if we convert the question from what do you do to who are you being in the world, there's a big, big difference.
Wow.
And when we concentrate on who we're being versus what we're doing, that will make all the difference. We're human beings. We're not human doings.
I love that. All right, we're going to wrap it up with that. Who are you being in this world?
Who you be?
I like it a lot.
The Reinvented Life Television Network, we talked about that as well, is to
Exciting.
bring these stories forward, because, you know, one of the things that we have to do is we have to help people be more themselves. You know, the truth lies not in your stars, but in yourself, right? So
Who are you being?
who are you going to be? Who you want to be and who you're going to be are two different things.
Right.
So let's find out the true deal. You got to be able to look in the mirror and say, you know something, I could be better. If you can't do that, we got some work to do.
Yeah, we can always be better.
Always be better.
Chanel's going to be here on December 14th doing a book launch as well as a
Yes.
business seminar right here in the studio, lunch and learn type of event. So that's exciting as well.
Very cool.
Dawn will be here.
Very
Jan,
excited
you'll be
about
here
it.
also.
Thank you for all your being to the world. I mean, your guests and all your shows. You're being the light and you're leading the way. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this movement.
We are finding a way. We have to be fluid today, right? Past
Got it.
24 hours.
I tell you, you changed my patches, they changed my batteries.
Right? I'm telling you, everybody, we've got these new patches that I've got to share with you. I know everyone's got a little bit more pep in their step
A little
today.
pep in the steppy.
All right. Have a wonderful afternoon, Chanel. Thank you for all that you do and for who you are being.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for sharing this platform.
All right, we're
Bye,
going to take a
Chanel.
quick commercial break. When we come back, it is game time at the cafe.
Oh, God.
More to come on this hump day, first day of fall,
Oh,
November
Lord.
1st. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, your family, your business, your peace of mind, you need reliable fire protection. Introducing All Fire Extinguisher Depot, Fire Extinguisher Service. Our certified technicians ensure your extinguishers are always ready to respond to emergencies. Before and after, we leave your fire safety in top-notch condition. Join the many satisfied clients who trust All Fire Extinguisher Depot for fire extinguisher service. Because when it comes to fire safety, there's no compromise. Contact All Fire Extinguisher Depot at 786-704-2750 to get your extinguisher service today. Your safety is our priority. That's at 786-704-2750. All Fire Extinguisher Depot, protecting what matters.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Hey Kaylee, what's up?
Hey, nothing, what's up?
Nothing, just looking for music for Grandpa I listen to while we're in the car.
What's wrong with listen to now?
Let's just say we have different tastes, you know?
Why don't you try listening to a podcast on Spotify?
Like which one?
The Broken Cafe Studio one is really good.
Okay, I'll try that one out, thanks.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought.
If the time comes, be ready. Learn CPR and join the nation of lifesavers. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call now.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
There's so many moving parts to this bad boy. This is like the Titanic across the ocean.
All right, so we've got our final segment. It is a game, a faith-based game with Jan and Dawn DeMarco Book, right? The two ladies are playing, or everyone's playing?
The two ladies, you guys can chime in as well.
The two ladies are playing. I believe this is a video segment game.
Yeah, so we're gonna play questions. They're gonna have to answer.
Joy. So not my area of expertise here.
They should be easy, I think. So hopefully.
We'll help you.
Says you.
The Red Sea. She's holding it. She can phone a friend. More questions to come.
Yeah, you can. Dawn can phone Dawn, and you can phone Freddie.
Okay.
Okay, you can start.
You'll probably get a busy signal with me.
Oh, gee, that was easy. Okay.
So we got Faith Edition.
Well, we need the video.
That's the intro.
How many brothers did Joseph have?
8. He was 7.
7?
6, 5, 4. 8 or 7?
7.
There was 8 of them.
8.
8?
7 brothers?
Right.
Do we know the answer? Does anybody know the
How
answer?
many brothers did Joseph have? They say 2, 5, 11, or 15. 11.
11.
hello, 12 drive.
That would be a eh.
Yeah. We didn't say we were going to answer them correctly. No, we didn't.
All right.
Well,
Next
I was going to
question.
ask which Joseph, because
The one with the amazing Technicolor
the
Dreamcoat.
one with the 11.
One
in the
Tribe,
well.
Israel, I guess.
Yeah.
There's that coffee that doesn't want to come to me. All right, what's the next question? Where did God give Joseph the Ten Commandments?
Mount Sinai.
Mount Sinai, Abu Dhabi, Mansoura, or New Cairo?
You know, it's funny. I used to work next door to Mount Sinai.
At Abu Dhabi?
In New York.
It's Mount
It's
Sinai.
Mount Sinai.
Mount Sinai. Ding, ding, ding.
Is it
ding.
Mount Sinai?
They don't know. They're looking for the answer.
Did she not make it correct? I didn't make this. She said she. Oh my gosh.
That's
Who
okay.
put
It
this
was Mount
together?
Sinai.
Well, we know it's Mount Sinai
All
for a
right,
fact.
where did God give Joseph? Oh, Mount Sinai, yes. Who made this, Chelsea?
Yeah, that's true.
Gretchen.
And it's not Joseph, the
It's
Ten
Moses.
Commandments.
Moses,
That's
right?
why
That's a
that kinda
tricky
threw me off.
question.
It's like, wait, what?
Nowhere.
Was Moses' nickname Joseph?
No.
What was Jesus' hometown? Jerusalem, Nazareth, Bethlehem, or Afula?
Jerusalem.
No.
Nazareth.
Nazareth. It's one
Thanks
of
for
the
playing with us, Freddie.
Well, listen, if Moses got the tablets, I'm figuring things out.
Joseph got the tablet.
I mean, Joseph got the tablets.
How many people were saved on Noah's Ark?
Oh, that's a good one.
There was only
I'm
his family, right?
I'm gonna say 8 because it's not 3. It's supposed to be even numbers, right?
Yeah, it would be A.
8. What do you think?
I can't really
It was
see
3.
what I'm-
8.
Oh, 8. Why 8 though?
Well, there's him.
Because Jesus.
Sons, their wives, and Noah and his wife.
I think it was Noah
Ah.
and his 7 wives.
Well, I didn't even know Noah had 3 sons.
He has
My
7
3
wives.
sons.
How did God make people spread out across the earth? How? He guided them. He appeared in their dreams. He sang to them. He confused their languages.
He confused their languages.
Yeah, D.
He guided them, is what I'm going to say. He confused their languages. That's interesting.
You are correct, ladies.
Wow. What does that even mean?
Tower of Babel, they were all becoming mighty, and they all
Use
spoke
your
the
mic.
same language. In Babel, they were all speaking the same language, so they were becoming powerful in and of themselves. So that's how we have Spanish and French and German and all of that. God mixed up their languages.
What
they
is
could-
Babel in Babel?
Babel is the Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel.
And they were worshiping that instead of God.
Babylon or Babel?
Babel came from
Babel.
Babel.
Tower of Babel.
Babylon. Babylonian. Yeah.
Really?
You know, you go Babel like blah blah blah. Babel,
Yeah. I didn't know there was a town called Babel.
Babylon.
Babylon and Babel are the same place?
No,
You
the
learned
Tower of
Babel.
Babel was in.
So, who is she? Okay? He okay?
Babylon and Babel are 2 different things.
Who fell?
Chelsea, she's okay. Just keep going.
Babylon and Babel are
As
2
long as it
different
wasn't
places.
Royce.
Babylon and Babel are 2 different places.
Tower of Babel.
Babylon and Babel are 2 different places.
Okay. Is she okay? All right. Next
I'm
question.
talking to somebody not listening to me.
Somebody fell off a chair in the other room. I got to make it
Well, you're not
Babylon
going to
and
pick them
Babel.
up. They're only going to go
Babylon
a
and
foot.
Babel are 2 places. All right.
Pick
What's
'em
next?
up.
That was it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Who
See,
did
you guys
this?
did well.
Who put this together? Who put this show
Game
together?
I don't know who made this game.
It's supposedly Gretchen made it.
Gretchen.
Oh, okay.
Figures. She's very religious.
Is she?
Yeah.
Or she could
Except
be
we got to
faithful,
tell
not
her that
religious.
Joseph didn't get the 10 Commandments.
She's confused. She thinks Joseph and Moses are the same
well.
players. on
That was
different
Moses'
teams.
nickname.
And there you have it.
We'll call him
AKA
Joe
Moses.
from now on.
All I can tell you, it's been an interesting 12 hours around here.
Unbelievable. Well, maybe it wasn't Moses, it was Joseph. And he says, yo, come here, hold these for me.
Wasn't that in the Mel Brooks movie? And like, he dropped one, and then they were.
Was it
like,
He threw
them down and had to go get another set.
That's true. That's hilarious.
You know, the Bible really is. There's there's so many cool stories in the Bible. You know, you do like, wait, he had to go back up because he broke. Yeah, hello.
Is that a true story?
Moses, yes. Moses had a temper, though. Like, that's
Yeah,
why
he
he
did.
didn't go
And
into
he
the promised
stuttered.
land.
Wait,
And
wait.
he also stuttered.
That wasn't just a Mel Brooks movie? He
No.
broke him and went back?
Yeah. When he
God's
came
like, okay,
down
there's
and
more?
Israel was worshiping a golden calf because he took too
No,
long
he
to come
threw
down,
them
he threw
at
them
us.
down.
Smashed it.
Yeah, but
So-
he didn't. They weren't 21, and he dropped it and came down to 14 or whatever it is.
He went back up and got a whole nother set.
Because he threw them, and then he was sent. He could not enter the promised land for how many? 28 years or something. 40.
Well, he
40
couldn't.
years.
He couldn't enter the promised land because he hit the rock when God said, "Speak to the rock."
Well, I thought it was because he threw the tablet.
No, God replaced those
So then he was forbidden to even enter.
because he disobeyed God. He had a temper. He had an anger issue.
Hey, listen, he should be cool because when he opened up that ocean, I'm gonna tell you, not too many
Hello.
people could do
No
that.
kidding.
And the fish and everything are still flying around. Go fishing.
That's how they got sushi.
You can have lunch and run for your life at the same time. It's kind of cool.
And the ground was dry.
Yeah, I always wondered that. And the carts went across and no mud. There was absolutely no mud. Meanwhile, you go to Belmont and it rains a little bit and they're all covered in mud.
Low tide, high tide. I don't know. All I know it's been a long couple hours.
It's been, that movie was hilarious. Remember the part of the burning bush? Now, when I was growing up, I was an altar boy.
Are we talking Mel Brooks movie?
No, the
real story?
That's
Or
something
Charlton
else.
Heston?
Ten Commandments?
Oh, okay.
No, the burning bush was in the Ten Commandments, yeah. And I asked my parents, I said, why is that tree on fire? And my mother said, no, that's the burning bush. And my brother came in and he made his joke about it and he walked out and I was totally confused for the rest of my life.
That explains a whole lot.
Whole lot.
Dawn, who's your guest for next week?
It is Todd Kalora, and he's going to share his journey. It's how he came to faith, and he's also going to talk about his business, and it's muscle therapy. Ugh. I'm still learning because he's actually going to come tomorrow and do it on me, so I'll know more tomorrow. But it's muscle therapy to help with my TMJ, with the chronic pain. So I'm excited to have
TMJ?
Huh?
He's going to train your TMJ?
He's going to hopefully manipulate my muscles to work better and be stronger, so that I'm not in chronic pain. So
Retrain your
we'll see.
muscles. All right,
Yeah.
more to
That's
come.
interesting.
All right, ready to wrap this up?
I'm ready to go,
All
Batman.
right, have a great afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your patience with our technology. Happy November. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
I hope we see you tomorrow. Don't be late.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.